It is not God's will for you to be troubled in your mind, uncomfortable in your mind. Some of you are so worried by the threat of trouble and the threat of what might happen, what could happen.
This is a season to get rid of all things, people, and situations that are bringing drama and dysfunction into your life.
Can you allow your mind to be quiet? Isn't it difficult? Once you've learned to think, you can't stop. When you're alone, nobody's saying anything. I'm left alone with myself. And I want to get away from myself. I'm always wanting to get away from myself. I don't want to be with myself.
So if I was the devil, I'd do everything I could to keep your head foggy, to keep your emotions governing your head to the point that you can't even think a clear thought. The fight is in your mind. The mind is the battleground. Waste no more effort wrestling with other people. Your future is not predicated on the decision of someone else. It doesn't matter what they think about you. God is going to bless you by how you see yourself.
One of the most obvious instances is the phenomenon of worry. The doctor tells you that you have to have an operation, but you can't stop worrying. Since worrying takes away your appetite, it's not good for you. And therefore you get additionally worried that you are worrying. And then furthermore, you are worried because you worry, because you worry. That is a vicious circle.
If you allow those thoughts to dwell in your mind, it will succeed at robbing you of your peace just because you thought yourself into a nervous breakdown. You thought yourself into defeatism.
I want y'all to understand something. If I already know what you're going to do to my day, why would I allow you to be included in my day?
If you don't know who you are without them, then if they leave, you'll be lost. Your identity was caught up in who they made you to be. You don't need people to tell you who you are. You're not talented. You don't have a good personality. Let that go in one ear and out the other. What they say or do doesn't make you any less a masterpiece.
Well, why do you want to run away from yourself? What's so bad about it? Because you are addicted to thoughts. Compulsive thinking, going on and on and on and on and on. And you really have to stop it if you want to be sane. Well, how do you do that? Because if I think all the time, I won't have anything to think about except thoughts. There are times when you simply must stop thinking. The first rule is don't try to. You will be like someone trying to make rough water smooth with a flat iron. In the same way as a turbulent pool quiets itself when left alone, you have to know how to leave your mind alone. It will quiet itself.
This is a season for us to stop walking around complaining as if we had nothing to do with the fact that those are your friends that are jealous, don't like you. They've made it so clear. However, you allow them to continue to be in your life and in your world.
When you're set in your mind and you refuse to grow and you're not open to new ideas, if your mind is already fixed, you can't have a sense of fulfillment. You become extremely cynical and negative about everything. So you want to begin to look at life and have a sense of curiosity. You want to keep learning, keep growing.
When you're going through darkness, when you're going through trial, then guess what? You're going to find out who you are. Do you realize everything that has been built is the direct result of a dream of someone who would not give up?
Most of y'all are getting 8 to 10 hours of sleep at night, but you're not resting. If your life while you're awake is a nightmare, from the business and the people in your family that surround you. So now you're having nightmares while you're asleep because your mind is wrestling. You cannot rest. If you're engaging and interacting, then drama, dysfunction, stress, and problems. You're going to take that into your sleep. You'll be sleeping 8 to 10 hours and you'll wake up and still feel like you're tired.
If you live possession-based, you have to run from name to name, friend to friend. Why don't you relax? You can't get any more valuable. Whether you're wearing Gucci or Goodwill,
Your value never changes.
Become involved in life. Most people go through life not living their fantasy, sitting up in the bleachers, looking out on the field, wishing that they were down there, just fantasizing, seeing themselves running with the ball. I used to do that.
In this world, you will have tribulation. If you quit when the gunfire's coming, that's when everything in us says, I give up, I quit, this is the end. But if you faint in the day of adversity, your strength is small.
And what social media is doing is it's causing us to look at one another, taking our lowest moments, and we're comparing them to people's highlight reels. Comparison always kills your contentment. People have never been so unfulfilled because they're living their life comparing where they're at with where somebody else is. I never knew how unhappy I was until I discovered how happy you were.
If you begin to ask yourself some deep questions, your desire to help people, your intentions, your patience level, you have all kinds of gifts that you were given. And if you'll identify what those 2 or 3 gifts are, and you begin to use those gifts in the service of other people, you will be ultimately fulfilled.
They may avoid suffering and sorrow, but they cannot learn, feel, change, and live. Chained by their certitudes, they have forfeited their freedom. Only a person who risks is free.
Some people have no future. They have no direction. You've got to know where you're going. When you're oppressed, the oppressor determines who you are, what you can do, why you're here, and where you're going.
Don't focus on why you can't do it. Focus on why you will do it. You want to put more energy on why you will do it than you're not being able to do it or the things that you're having working against you.
I believe that the good thing about difficulty and failure is that they teach you what success really means and to define it for yourself, what it means to you. Too many people spend their lives trying to capture other people's versions of success.
When you schedule your time and take advantage of your time, you can work smarter instead of working longer. I will look for new ways to work smarter by focusing on doing more per hour instead of doing more hours.
Hurting people end up hurting other people. Messed up people can mess you up. Don't let messed up people ruin the rest of your life. Don't let what they say define who you are. It has nothing to do with you. They're treating you out of their hurts, their wounds.
Over the last day, week, and year, what are the majority of the emotions you experience? Do you experience the emotions of joy, fulfillment, contribution, passion, certainty, faith? Or are you experiencing more regularly the emotions of fear, anxiety, stress? Take an inventory of those emotions. If you have more of passion, more of strength, more of peace, compared to having anxiety, the caliber of your life is higher with the people that have those emotions.
Storms come no matter how strong they are, and storms go. Nothing lasts forever. I've never seen one storm that has lasted a lifetime. So how I'm feeling, I know that it will change. All right? And you feel a certain type of way, go move. Okay, nothing lasts forever.
The only difference between the haves and the have-nots are their habits. Most people won't take the time to put in the effort. Habits are too light to be felt until they're too heavy to be broken.
Don't start your week until you have it finished. Don't start your week until you have it planned. Just imagine what life would be like if... You took time out of every Sunday to plan your week. If you plan your week before you start it, you'll know exactly what you want to do.
The people closest to you may not acknowledge your gifts. Quit feeling inferior because somebody close to you is not celebrating you. People may leave you out, but God doesn't leave you out. Quit trying to make people be for you that are never going to be for you. If you needed their approval, you would get it. If you're not getting it, that means you don't need it to become who you were created to be.
Because if you always stop at your limit, you're never going to create new limits. A lot of people don't expand their boundaries of greatness because they always stop when the struggle hits. So construct your day with being uncomfortable. You have to be comfortable with being uncomfortable. Like, it's to a point now that it's crazy. I'm more uncomfortable when I'm comfortable, and I'm more comfortable when I'm uncomfortable.
No matter who the person is or what he does, men and women in sales, business executives, wherever you find a person doing an outstanding job and getting outstanding results, you will find a person with the right kind of attitude. They have a healthy attitude toward themselves and, as a result, toward life and the things they... They achieve some remarkable things, and they come to be called successful, outstanding, brilliant, and a lot of other things.
88% of what's going on in any given moment you're not paying attention to. That which we tend to pay attention to is aligned with what we believe, and so that's all we get. If you want more wealth, if you want deeper relationships, if you want to have more fun, you want to achieve your full potential and really make an impact, then what's really important is to get clear on what that could look like for you.
So forget what can't be changed and focus on the future. You got to let it go. Until you learn to do this, you're going to be unhappy much of your life because you hold on to the habits and the hang-ups, and you hold on to the grief and the guilt, and that causes so much unhappiness in your life.
Your mind can hold only one thought at a time, and since there's nothing at all to be gained by being negative, be positive. It is our attitude toward life which determines life's attitude toward us. It is our attitude at the beginning of a task which, more than anything else, will affect its successful outcome.
You have to work with your game plan in order for it to best work for you. Know the best time for you to accomplish a certain type of task. You have to maintain the discipline of working your plan until... until you've got it down.
Grieving is a biological process. It's the absence, a void of something in your life. In grief, sooner or later, you got to come to a greater understanding about death. A greater understanding so that you can adapt to those conditions. Every time I sit with someone and they start complaining about their life, you know what I say to them? You only complain about your life when it's not working. The emotion that you're feeling right now is keeping you connected to the past. You never do this when your life is working.
It is impossible to succeed without others, and it is our attitude toward others which will determine their attitude toward us. The deepest craving of human beings is to be needed, to feel important, to be appreciated. Give it to them, and they'll return it to you. The higher you go in any organization of value, the better will be the attitudes you'll find.